Hello, awesome MCS staff. Today we're going to talk about ParentSquare and ParentSquare groups so you can set up groups to effectively communicate with students and parents. Before we get started, I would just like to highlight that some groups will already be created for you in ParentSquare. For example, at the high school level, sports sections created in PowerSchool will roll over to ParentSquare. Additionally, some of the non-sports programs, such as esports, will also have sections in PowerSchool which will roll over to ParentSquare, so you might not need to make these groups. If you have a group that you think should be rostered in PowerSchool and sunk over to ParentSquare, please contact your site admin and they can work with your data entry to get that request processed so that you don't have to manually create a group. For all other purposes, you can create your own groups in ParentSquare. Let's go ahead and learn how to do that. We're going to start right from the beginning here on the district homepage. Isn't it lovely? To get started, we're going to our staff and staff applications to launch the MCS app portal. If asked, sign in with your username and password. Once the app portal opens, you just need to find your ParentSquare icon. If you can't find ParentSquare, you can always do a search up at the top for ParentSquare. Great, now we're logged into ParentSquare and we're ready to take a look at groups. Groups are under the Participate section of ParentSquare. You can click on Groups. Depending on your site and permissions, you might already see a bunch of groups created, including your grade level groups and some publicly available district groups, such as the ParentSquare Training Group and others. Any of the groups you post here, you can click on and join and communicate with that group. However, if you'd like to create your own group, go ahead and click New Group to start your own group. Now you have two choices of what type of group you would like to make. If you'd like to make a static group, you can add members yourself, or you can make a public group and allow anybody to join. If you have specific conditions, such as zip code, grade level, or language, you can create an automatically updating group that will upload with new members who meet certain conditions and remove those who no longer meet certain conditions. Please note that these conditions would be things available to you in ParentSquare, and you would need to build them accordingly. Let's learn how to make a new static group. Our first step is going to be giving it a name. You can also offer a brief description of the group and choose what category it's in. By default, you'll want to leave this as school. Now you have some choices here as to the level of access to the group. If you set it to public, anyone at your school, student or parent, can join the group. If you set it to private, only group members that you add can view the group's contents. And finally, if you set it to confidential, you can still add members. However, the display name of the group is hidden in feed and posts when other recipients are included. We can also go into advanced options to configure some permissions. One permission is we can allow group members to post to this group, meaning that students or parents could offer their own posts to this group. We can hide this group from the directory so that people can't just jump into it. And we can choose whether or not comments made on our posts are public or private. You'll see all the defaults here. By default, group members cannot post. By default, it is hidden in the directory. And by default, comments are not public. I'm going to leave all these here as the default and leave this as private. Scrolling down here, I can add a co-owner to the group. This is fantastic if you have, say, a co-coach or a co-teacher who runs the group with you. You can add them and give them full owner permissions. In this case here, I'll add my coworker, Angela, and all I have to do is type her name, find her, and she is now a co-owner of the group with me. Now we need to figure out how to add the group members. You'll see here we have three choices. We can add them by name, we can add them by role, or we can upload a CSV. Let's take a look at the first option. To add members by selecting students, all you need to do is know your student's ID number and start typing their ID number here to add them to the group. If instead we like to add people by role, we can go ahead and click on this here, and we will see a list of the different staff members and students at our site. Anybody that we would like to add by role, we can, or anybody that we'd like to add by name, we can. All we need to do is check off the person that we would like to add and click Save. Finally, if we have a larger amount of people that we need to add to this group, we can upload members using a CSV. Please note that if you add any students to a group, you will also be adding those parents to the group. And all you need to do is upload a CSV of either the student IDs or staff IDs that you would like. If you're not sure what this should look like, you can click on See an Example File here to see exactly what's expected of you. In this case here, the file should just be a single column of student IDs. So you could use something like a Google form and just collect the student ID numbers of all of your students you need to add to this group. I'm going to really quickly just open up an Excel document and create a CSV file to show you the process. All right, I've created a new Excel spreadsheet with a column dedicated to just student IDs. These are all the students that I would like to add to my group, so I can just verify that all the IDs are correct here. Once I'm ready, all I need to do is go File and choose Save As. Now, it doesn't matter where you save this, you just need to be familiar. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Browse here and put this on my desktop. What I do want to make sure to do here is where it says Save As Type, I want to make sure that I am saving this as a comma delimited value or a CSV. And I'm going to call this student IDs. So student IDs.csv and click Save. Once I have that file, all I need to do is upload it to ParentSquare. So I'll click Upload Student CSV File, click Choose a File, and go find where I saved that. On my desktop, here is my student ID CSV, so I'm going to go ahead and click Open. And as long as the student ID is matched, it would pull over those students. In this case here, I just used dummy student ID numbers so they weren't able to find them on file. But you would get a confirmation that those students were found and pulled into the group. Once you're done with your group and adding your students, you can go ahead and click Save. And your group is now ready. Now let's talk about the other kind of group. So to create a auto-updating group, I'm still here in ParentSquare. I've gone into Participate, and I've gone into Groups. I'm going to click a new group. This time we're going to talk about update groups, auto-update groups. I'm going to click on this to create an auto-updating group, and again, start with naming the group. I can give the group a description, just like before, and a category. You'll notice here that I don't have as many privacy settings because this group is automatically updating. I don't need to worry about it being public or private. So I'll leave these alone. I can also come into advanced options here and toggle the same permissions as far as group posting, directory, and public comments as I could in my static groups. Scrolling down, I can add a co-owner just like I did in a static group. And finally, here is where we build the auto update. The first thing that we're going to do is decide what user role we want this group to be based off of. Perhaps we want this to be parents of a certain sports group. So I'll go ahead and click Parents. And then I can say the user matches the following condition. I can choose if the parents are in a grade level, a class, or speak a certain language. In this example here, I want to build a parent group based on a certain language, so I'll go ahead and pick language, and I can pick language as one of the following. And I'll see all the available languages to me at my site. In this case here, the site happens to be English only because it's a test site, but you would see all these available languages at your site, and you could go ahead and pick one of those. If I wanted to add another condition, I could add another condition, and I can come in here and pick grade level, class, or language. If I were to pick grade level, again, this is a sample site, so I don't have any options here, but I would see all my site grade levels in the dropdown. I could select a grade level here, and that way I could look for all the English-speaking parents of my 9th grade students. Once I had all my conditions met, I would click Save, and this group would be created. Then, as I had parents join the school who were English speaking or who met these conditions, or parents leave the school, they would be automatically enrolled or disenrolled from the group. Back on the group homepage here, I can see any groups I have made under this school area. Here's my first group and here's my second group. And you'll notice here that this first group has a lock, meaning it is static, and the second group has a little sync icon, meaning this is an auto update group. That way you can easily distinguish what type of group you have created. At any point, you can go in and you can change the settings of the group, as long as you are an owner, by clicking on the gear icon. That brings back all the settings, including the ability to adjust members. Additionally, if you made a group by accident or you have duplicate groups, you can come into your group list here and you can get rid of any groups that you are the owner of. Just as a reminder here, this group will be deleted and any posts in the group will be deleted as well. We'll go ahead and confirm that yes, we want to delete this group. And in just a moment, Our list will refresh, and the group is now removed from our list. You might be wondering how to get to your group. In order to get to your group, you're going to come to the same group areas on the side, and you'll notice my group amount here went up by 1. I now have this test group. It should be right here up at the top. I can go ahead and click on my test group and see my group. Now that I'm viewing my group, I can go ahead and post to this group just by clicking New Post. And everyone in this group will see the post and be able to interact with it depending on my privacy settings. Again, any students that I enroll in this group, their parents will be enrolled in the group as well, so the parents will also get the group communications. If I wish to leave the group or return back to my school view, all I need to do is come up to this filter here and go into all schools, classes, and groups. And this will bring me back to my feed of all of my groups, classes, and my school. To get back to my group, I can also click the same drop down here and click back on the group that way to view just the group. If you have any questions, you would like to make additional sections that are auto-rostered, or you would like to invite non-parent members of the community, such as board members or booster leaders, to ParentSquare groups, please contact the help desk and we can help get that process going for you. Thank you and have a great day.